Well, think about this right here. All of us have made connections with students over the years, right? And so think about that one student that you have that powerful connection with. You have them in your mind. You're thinking about them. You can envision them. Now imagine first day of school, they're running down the hallway, not to engage in any type of nefarious activity, but maybe just aggressive horseplay. And so you see them running down the hallway about to push someone. And as they're about to do this, you call their name out. You say, hey, come on. What would they do? Just yell it out if you know. What would they do? Stop? Why would they stop? Because of the what? Because of the relationship, because of the connection. So what we're saying is if we can aggregate that, if we can have that in more classrooms, more hallways, more buses, more cafeterias, we're automatically going to see a reduction in unwanted behaviors. Because what the science tells us, what great teachers have always known, what parents have been saying from the beginning of time, is that children rarely disrespect people they like, right? So we're just tapping into what's already there. We're hacking into what children already have. They have this desire to have connections with adults. So once we start to tap into that desire that children have, that connection with us, we can start to maximize that and leverage that to have children self-regulate their behavior. So whether we are a beginner or expert in restorative practices or even running circles, it doesn't matter. There are a few things that we know that goes into this that really makes it work well. And this is what we mean. So when we think about this, think about the things that actually go into a circle. We say things like respect. Now, if I were to ask you what does respect mean to you, for most adults that work with students, we say things like, I need you to listen to me. I need you to pay attention to the work that I've put together. I need you to not talk when I'm talking. These are the things that an adult would say respect means to them. But if you were to flip that and you were to ask a student, well, what does respect mean to you? And what do you need to be respected? Well, I want teacher to look at me when they talk to me. I want them to call me by my name. I want them to treat me like they treat other individuals. And so we see because of this difference in this word respect, we both have this facilitated conversation so that what we get out of it is that two people understand what respect means to each other. And think about it. Once you start to know what respect means to the other individual, what do you start to do? You don't unintentionally disrespect somebody. But without that facilitated conversation, sometimes there can be an unintentional infringement upon what you feel respect is. I was doing this exercise with a group of teachers in another a school district not far from here. And one individual in this exercise, he said, well, you know what respect means to me? I was always taught that a man looks another man directly in his eye. I was taught that you look a person directly in their eye when you're speaking to them. He said, that's what respect means to me. And by not looking me in the eye when you talk to me, I feel now you're being disrespectful. But then his partner said, well, you know, in my culture, that's a sign of disrespect. So if somebody is staring directly at me, or if I'm staring directly at somebody, I'm being disrespectful. And then they had this moment. He said, well, you know what? Now that I know that, I can show you consideration. And she said, well, you know what? Now that I know that, I can show you consideration. But had they not had that facilitated conversation, it would be easily for somebody to unintentionally be disrespectful toward another individual. And because of that, that could start to turn into some other unwanted behaviors that may start to be exhibited between the both. So that's just one of the words that goes into this. And then the other word that can go into our restorative practices is compromise. Compromise is just a modification upon one's demand. So we may be in the position where we're demanding something from somebody, but now that we're going into this restorative circle and we're having this new restorative mindset, we learn how to make modifications upon our demand so that it's not always about me. And isn't that a wonderful quality that we can have children start to learn? How to actually exercise compromise so that it's not always about them. They can have modifications on their demands and what they expect, not just from us, but from their classmates. And then this word right here, kindness, this is one of the most powerful words that we can actually utilize in our school system because it automatically elicits some type of response from the other individual. And I'll show you this real quickly. So this is what I want you to do. We're going to do a little social science experiment. I want you to put a smile on and turn to the other person and just look at them. So just smile at the person sitting right next to you. All right? I've seen some awkwardness. I seen a few awkwardness, right? All right. So think about this little social experiment that we're having. What happens when you smile at someone? When you smile at someone, what do they do back? They smile back, right? Even if it's awkward, even if you smile at a total stranger, you'll get a look, and maybe that person will go, but they'll give you something back. So we bring in that quality, right? We bring that quality in as well with this restorative practices. And then finally, we bring in this quality right here. This quality of forgiveness, which it's important that we really have that quality because we know from time to time, individuals will fail to meet our expectations. We know we're going to fail to meet individuals' expectations as well. But restorative practices allows us to bring all of these wonderful words in so that we have this right here. Relationships. And we can say this over and over again, but this is the most crucial word to building restorative practices. As a matter of fact, I will tell you, without relationships, without us having those connections, the training that we're about to embark upon really has no meaning. So if we haven't built up a relationship, none of the things that we're going to be discussing will work at all. It'll actually be counteractive. So with that word relationship, we can do so much. Now, I want to define that word because sometimes when we hear that word, it may give off the notion that we're talking about we have to be besties with kids, that we have to be on first name basis. I have to like all of their pictures on social media. I have to go visit their home and all that, which sometimes it's okay to visit their home. But those are not the relationships that we're talking about. What we're talking about when we use that word relationship, we mean that two individuals have a mutual respect and understanding of each other. And if you have a mutual respect and understanding of another individual, that's a relationship. Many of you have relationships with the person that you see every morning when you go get your morning coffee. You may not know their first name, or you may know their first name, but it's not as though you guys hang out after they get off work a lot, right? We have relationships when we go to our favorite restaurant. Maybe the waitress or the waiter, they know our name and we know their name. And so we have that relationship. But it's that mutual respect and understanding of two individuals that comes together. And with that, we can leverage so much.